Alright, how's it going, everyone? It is I, Asmurai, and today we have a special, hopefully short video for you today. We're going to be talking about Valorant. And what about Valorant? We're mainly going to be going about every single agent and all their abilities. I'm not going to go too in depth on what every agent can do. I'm just going to give the perspective of the agents and certain utilities that they could do and other things that they could use. So with that said, let's go ahead and hop right into it. This one that we have up is going to be Astra. Astra is a very interesting agent, especially right now due to how she's not very high tier. She has several different abilities. Most of these requires these stars. These stars are visible and you are able to see them when she is placing them down on the map. And she is vulnerable when she's doing that. She'll have this whole effect where she's sitting in the air and she can't really see what's going on, so it's very easy to sneak up on her if she's doing that in the wrong place. But she can place these stars down. You can't shoot the stars, and she has different types of abilities. She has a smoke, a pull in, and a concuss, and none of these you can shoot, and these you just kind of have to avoid at all costs and not get hit by these. With her ult, on the other hand, the ult is something that kind of makes a line, and it makes a line throughout the entire map. And with that line being there, you can't hear past the wall. So anything on the other side of the wall, you can't hear, no matter how close the person is. So if someone is on the other side of the wall, you can't hear it, no matter what. So that is Astra in a nutshell, and that's basically the most I can really give you on her abilities. Next, we're going to talk about Breach. So Breach has a flash, and the flash pretty much goes through a wall, it lights up, and you get blinded. It's a very fast and hard to react flash. You can't shoot this, you have to turn away from it. Just about everything that Breach shoot at you, you are unable to shoot them. You just have to move out the way or not look at it. He has a damaging wall burst, which kind of that does damage 2-3 times. He has a concuss, to where it just concuss through the wall or just on the floor. And if you're within that area, you get concussed, and of course it's very fast. A lot of Breach utilities is very fast, very hard to dodge. So Breach is really good with a team, and he's someone that can take advantage of low elo players that don't know how to really react to him. But other than that, his ult, of course, the knockup and everything. So there you go. That is Breach. Okay, next up we're gonna have Brimestone. Brimestone have received a couple of buffs, and he's actually in a good spot. One of my most favorite thing about Brimestone is his combat, his stem beacon, which gives him a combat stem. The stem beacon once you touch the stem beacon, you get a decay over time where you have increased fire rate and increased movement. So it is really good when you're pushing on a point or simply just holding down an angle, especially when you're holding down an angle, because that buff will not deteriorate, will not go away until you leave the circle of the stem beacon, and then it will slowly decay over time. So the fact that it lasts a little bit over time before that, it just makes it really good. And you cannot shoot the stem beacon, but I believe you can see it unless they changed it. Of course, we have his smokes. His smokes are able to be used at anywhere in the map. He has a molly, pretty straightforward, and then he has his ult. None of them you can shoot. You have to, of course, get out the way. Next, we have Chamber. Chamber, the well-dressed man, the French assassin. Chamber has a couple of different things that he can do. He has the alarm bot and the rendezvous. We're going to start off with the rendezvous. The rendezvous is pretty much Chamber's teleport. You will know he can teleport when he is gold. He will appear gold on your team and as an enemy. And if you're playing Chamber, you'll have the gold outline on at the edge. When he doesn't, he'll be in his normal, but when he can teleport, he'll always appear gold. So just remember, gold means teleport. He has to be grounded to teleport, and when he does teleport, it takes him to the other rendezvous that he is not currently at. And he has to be grounded.
A gift.
The next thing we're going to talk about is the alarm bot that Chamber has. The alarm bot works in a radius, so within a radius that someone approach, it will target the player and then shoot them. It's not instantaneously. It's about about 2 seconds before. So the first 2 seconds it detects the enemy. After the second second it shoots, and then it gets an AoE slow, and the player is unable to move, and they are now known that they're in that location. You can smoke this, and it will, because it requires a target. Everything that requires a target in Valorant, you are able to smoke it or flash. Well, some of it you can flash it, and it will actually not be able to detect the player. It has to visibly see the player in order to detect the player. So if something can't see because of a smoke, then it's more likely not able to detect you. Next, we're going to talk about Chamber's ultimate, his sniper, the big boy. Every time Chamber kills someone, he gets the AoE slow of his sentry, which holds down choke and angles very well. He has his Q, which is a sheriff but on steroids, and one thing you anywhere. Next, we're going to talk about Cypher. Cypher has the cage. You can't shoot it as far as to my knowledge, and he has a camera he can place down. The camera, of course, lets him look in different angles that he isn't already, and he can tag you. Once he's tagged you, you have to take it off, and him and everyone on his team know where you are as long as that tag is on you. So you want to take that off as fast as possible. And the last thing, you have the tripwire. With the tripwire, you can either, depending on how he places it, you could get around them, but sometimes you can't. So most times you have to shoot them or just accidentally break them with your utility. But these you can shoot, and if you get tripped, you won't be able to pass a certain threshold, and once you fail to do that, you will get concussed, and you are also vulnerable, I believe, so you take more damage. So you really don't want to get hit by Cypher's tripwire, because it is just a pain, especially if you're like trying to duel a Cypher, because he is more likely going to peek you, and he can't wait for the concuss to go off. And then next he has his ult, which is ultimate, is basically a short reveal to the entire team, or everyone that is alive on the enemy team, to his whole team. We're going to talk about Fade. Fade is the newest agent to the Valorant protocol. Her E is pretty much vision. If it spots you, you can shoot this or you can hide from it. That is completely up to you. You can shoot it or you can hide from it. If it spots you though, you're marked. And once you're marked, you're prone to getting targeted by her other ability, which can follow the tracks to you, because when you're marked, what it means is you're currently leaving a track. So it doesn't mean anything else. You're just currently marked to Fade. She's able to use that ability, which is her Prowler, which can follow your trail that you're leaving behind to blind and deafen. Fade has a root that she can do. The root is like a molly, and it reaches a certain, it has a little certain radius, and whatever it gets into that initial radius is rooted to that, is rooted into the circle. You cannot shoot the circle, you just have to stay tethered to it. There's nothing else that it does other than deafens the player, so you're unable to hear why you're moving. And then finally, she has the Nightmare, which marks all people, and it causes people to become decayed as well. so your health will rapidly decay. And then the Prowler, of course, it has to target someone. It has to either see, and once it sees someone, she cannot control it. She can control it until it sees someone. So keep that in mind with Fade. She can only control her Prowler until it sees someone, and then it will just follow the player, which you can shoot. You have to shoot that Prowler or hide from the Prowler. So you either hide from the Prowler or shoot the Prowler. Majority of Fade's utility you can shoot, except for her Q and ultimate, which is her root and her ultimate are the two things you can't shoot. Which the ultimate shows an area of effect that you will be able to see, and you will be able to avoid it if you have time. If you're not caught into a point blank, if you're caught to it at the edge, it's a lot easier to kind of dodge, and you'll be able to see. Jet is pretty straightforward. She has her smoke, her dash, and her updraft. Her ultimate, of course, you can't really hit anything with it. Her dash is very nice, but it got reworked into being activated. So with her dash, you have to activate it first before you can actually dash. So you have to hit the dash key, then you'll become available to dash, and this also indicates to the player that you have your dash, and then you have to press the button again to be able to dash. Her Q is still the same, everything else is still the same. It's just the dash that they change and tweak with Jet. Next, we're going to talk about KO. And KO is a very, he is an initiator. He has a grenade that he can throw. It works like a molly, and it does damage over time. His E is a tactical knife, which suppresses and reveals to the entire lobby who has gotten hit. And after you get hit by it, you are suppressed, meaning you are unable to use your ability. Then you have his flashbangs, which are pretty much just generic Call of Duty flashbangs. He has two different animations. He has the throwing one, which is a lot more reactable, and then he has the lob, where it just kind of lobs it into the air and you're unable to, and it's a lot harder to react to it. His ultimate is Overload, which is really cool because it pulses, and every time an enemy get hit by the pulse, they're unable to use their ability. So KO's biggest thing is suppressing Radiant's ability and everyone else's ability. He gets improved fire rate, and if you take him down while his ult is active, he will go into like this Fortnite thing to where he needs a reset or help getting up. So that is KO. Next, we're going to talk about Killjoy. Killjoy, the most I can say is everything from Killjoy is shootable. You can shoot everything that Killjoy puts down. She has swarm grenades, which works as really strong mollies that she has to activate. She has her alarm bot that detects the player and then stuns and makes them vulnerable. And then she has her sentry, which I have no idea what it's doing. And then she has her ultimate, which is a big detainment field, which after getting hit by that, you get detained. You're unable to act or do anything. You move really slow, so you want to get out of the radius that is shown on the map, or destroy it. Everything that Killjoy uses can be destroyed, so you can shoot it and destroy just about everything that she has. So keep that in mind. So if you're having a hard time dealing with Killjoy, just keep in mind a lot of them could be avoided or just simply destroyed. Next, we're going to talk about Neon. Neon is a very fast duelist. She has a sprint that she can do. She has her concuss, which her concuss is like pretty much the hardest thing to deal with. Her concuss basically hits a wall and then it shoots another one, and those two areas become concuss areas, and it will show as a little ring. You have a little bit of time depending on which one. The second one is a little bit harder to react to versus the first one, but you'll get hit by those and then you'll get concussed. And then she has her sprint, which her sprint she can use to peek and kind of slide on you to make the peek very wide and fast, which kind of gives her an advantage when peeking. And then she has her ult, which is whelp step lasers that has pinpoint accuracy, and she's able to full run and sprint and not really miss, and it does a lot of damage. So if you hear her ulting, Of course, none of her utility is shootable. She has a wall that she can put up. She has the double wall, and then while she's just shooting her lasers, just make sure you like one tap her. That's the best way to really deal with her. But all her utility is unable to be shot or anything. So
Almost out.
you just have to play around those. Next, we got Omen. Omen is able to teleport, and his teleport makes a sound. I think they recently changed it to where it doesn't actually give you a directional cue. You just hear it if you're close, which will always sound like it's right on top of you. It may have a directional input, but as far as I know, it just kind of you just hear it. He has smokes, of course. You can't shoot. When he teleports, you can shoot him during that. So as you see him coming out of his teleport, you can shoot him. And then he has his ultimate, which you can hear the ultimate, and then you can visibly see him do it, and you can cancel it. But the time that he's appearing, if you shoot it, it cancels the ult. So you can either cancel his ultimate, or you can punish Omen and kill him as he tries to draw his gun to defend himself. So that one's really dependent on you. And then he has his blind. His blind is unable to be shot. It goes in a very far and wide radius, as you see here. You are unable to shoot that. So just move out the way. That is the best way that you have. Phoenix. Next, we're going to talk about Phoenix. Phoenix is a pretty straightforward agent. He has his Molotov, his wall, his flash, which is very easy to kind of be familiar with. It's a simple curveball, and then he has his ultimate, which is pretty much the second life. Although the second life, it does break armor. So if you did 150, so you can only do 250 damage to Phoenix before he's down. So if you did 150 while he's in his ult, he resets. He only has 100, so he does not get his shield back after he ults. And Phoenix can use his ability to heal himself as well.
Come on, let's go.
Talk about Raze. Raze has a couple of utilities that you can shoot, which is her bomb buddy. Her bomb buddy is able to be shot at. It pretty much just goes in a straight path until it detects someone, and then it steers directly to them and blows up for quite a bit of damage. It pretty much puts you at one tap or two tap. I mean, it does a lot of damage. It can be a very devastating move. Next, she has her satchel, which her satchel she can use for mobility or just to disrupt you, but most times she uses it for mobility. And then she has her grenade, of course. You can't shoot the grenade. I don't believe you can shoot the satchel. You may be able to shoot the satchel. I'm not sure. I know you can shoot the bomb buddy. And then, of course, she has her her ultimate, which is basically a big rocket launcher where it just blows you up. You get blown up and you die. So if you hear her say fire in the hole, just run away. Just run away. Run very far. Raze, you just want to run very far from her utility. Unless it's the bomb buddy, then you can shoot it or hide from it. But if it targets you, then you have to shoot it. Otherwise, it's gonna blow up to you. But yeah, that is Raze. Next, we're gonna talk about Reyna. Reyna is another duelist that has a blind, and she plays very frag heavy. Her blind is basically an eye that blinds everyone that is within line of sight or mainly looking at it. Not just simply line of sight, they have to be looking at it. So if someone turns around away from your eye, they're not blinded, and your eye is able to be shot at. So as a Reyna player, you kind of want to get used to places where you can put the eye in very hard spots to swim, so you can swing a lot more easily. She has, after she gets a kill, she can use that to heal or go into like this phase where she can't be shot at and she's partially visible. She moves a little bit, but she's unable to act at this time. And then she has her ult where she basically gets both of them and improved fire rate. It lasts for a long time, and it also refreshes on kill as far as to my knowledge. Next, we're gonna talk about Sage, and Sage is a healing character, of course. If you didn't know, she has her wall, which her wall is very useful for slowing down pushes and setting up for res. So we're gonna be getting into that here in a bit. She has a slow orb, and she's able to heal friendly with her wall. Everyone is able to shoot at it. So her teammate is able to shoot at it, and she is able to shoot at it. But keep in mind, everyone knows when the wall is being damaged because everyone can hear it most times. Most times, everyone can hear it within that radius of you shooting or knifing. Of course, you get the radius indication that you're being heard, and then she has her slow orb to kind of slow and hold down chokes with her team to help get pushed. So if you want to ult, the best way to ult the Sage is using your wall to kind of cover your teammate, and then ulting to like res them. So like you want to run up, put a wall down, res your teammate, and if you can't do that, then if you have to res your teammate, make sure it's a safe location, and make sure you hold an angle where you know the enemy is. Because when you're rezzing someone, they're unable to defend themselves, and if you're the enemy, you're going to try to instantly kill that person that is unable to defend themselves. So you can take advantage of that and either bait your teammates, which you have to pull off, otherwise you're getting flamed, or hold it with your team. You know, defend your team. Of course, just defend your teammate. Period. Right? If you're rezzing your teammate, just hold it with them, defend them, you know, just defend the teammate, and make sure that when they res, they actually can act before they just die again. Next, we're going to be talking about Skye, and Skye is another healing she's another healing character. She's able to do an AoE heal. She has a wolf that can concuss people, and it does do damage. So if you're low enough, it can kill you. You have to be really low for it to kill you, but once it bites you or leaps onto you, you're concussed. And when she's doing this, she's actually vulnerable. You can actually shoot Skye. She's unable to defend herself unless she cancels it. And then she has her E, which is her hawk, which blinds you, which she can use to either fake it or, you know, just swing around the corner and blind. And when she hits it, it says when she actually blinds you, the Skye will announce that you're blinded. So when you get flash, she'll say blinded. So her flash, you're able to quickly turn it or shoot it. With this one, you can turn or shoot it, and same with the wolf. You can shoot that as well. So with that said, you have her Hulk. You can turn it or shoot it. If you turn it
blinded
and she blinds it, she will say blinded, and the person will think that you're blinded, but you're actually not fully blinded. So you can easily punish her for it, because she doesn't have enough time to actually punish you for getting blinded, because it takes her a longer time to pull it off. And then she has her ultimate, which sends out these little booger things, and she just says, "I got your trail." It'll hunt you, it'll blind you, and it'll concuss you. Shoot those on sight, because they know exactly where you are. There's no hiding from it. You just have to shoot it, or you get blinded and you die. Next, we're going to be talking about Sova. Sova has several different abilities. He has the owl drone, which you want to shoot at it, because if he gets the owl drone and shoots you, you get triggered. With the dart, you get a little spy dart that goes for 3 ticks, and then it's done. And then you have this arrow that will tick that you can shoot or hide from. Same with the owl. You can shoot it or you can hide from it. The shock dart, you can't hide from that. You got to move out of it. And his ultimate, you can't shoot it. Well, you can shoot him. You can still shoot him, but he's still very vulnerable if he ults in a bad spot. Most time when a Sova ults, he wants to do it behind a wall. So, and he wants to have information for that. So he wants to either use his E or use his owl drone to kind of know where someone is, and then ult in order to guarantee that he's at least taking one person out, or just simply stall out from the stall out with the spike with it. That is basically Sova. And the next person we're going to talk about is Viper. None of Viper utility is shootable. She has her wall, she has her poison orb, and she has her ult. All these poisons decay you, and she also has her snake bite, which makes you vulnerable and deals damage to you at the same time. So you really don't want to be in anything that Viper has to put out. Otherwise, you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Either a lot of damage, or your health is just going to be really low, and you're going to be easily one tap or two tappable. Just with body shots. So don't get hit by Viper's ability. Well, don't go into Viper stuff unless you feel confident that you can actually, you know, seal the deal and put her down. When you're in the Viper's pit, which is her ult, keep in mind she does have an advantage in that ult. She can see further than what anyone else sees. And not only that, when you're in the ultimate with her, you glow when she's able to see you. You glow a lot when you're able to be seen by her. So keep that in mind as well. Next, Yoru's the last agent. So Yoru's the very last agent. So first we're going to be talking about his fake out, his decoy. So his decoy personates a body just like Yoru, but this decoy literally only runs in one direction. It just holds W. You know, it's literally just holding W. It won't shoot at you. It won't do anything unless you shoot it. Once you shoot it, and it literally activates after one hit. If it gets shot, it will turn towards you and flash you. So you can either shoot it and then flick yourself away from it and then look back, or just ignore it. If you know it's the Yoru clone, keep in mind the Yoru can pretend to be his clone, and you don't want that to be you. So keep in mind the Yoru is going to be going for a lot of mind games, and then Yoru has his TP. His TP, he's able to fake it. He can either fake it or actually commit, and both times it makes the same sound. You know, so Yoru, again, mind game. He can fake his teleport, or he can actually commit to his teleport. Keep that in mind, alright? Just try your best not to get fooled by it, because either or he's using that to get some sort of reaction out of you. Either for you to ignore it and him to take advantage of it, or for you to react to it and for him to take advantage. Yoru is all mind games. And then the only thing that's not really a mind game is his flash. And his flash is basically a blue orb. You can't shoot at it. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got ahead of myself. You can shoot the Yoru clone, which of course flashes you if you shoot it. And you can also shoot Yoru's teleport if you hear it. It'll appear as a very staticky noise. You can shoot it, and it will break the teleport, so he won't be able to fake or use it. Okay, now we can get into his flashbang. So his flashbang pretty much does not activate until it bounces off of a surface. So it could be a floor or a wall, which Yoru would use to, of course, flash you and then peek you. A good Yoru player has certain lineups that he can do to flash you from angles you didn't even that you are just completely unable to react from. And of course, we're going to go to the last thing, which is his ultimate, which basically makes him go invisible, and it's you're able to hear him when he's close, but you won't be able to see him. He's fully invisible. You can still bump into him, so if you feel like you bumped into a visible wall, then that's probably Yoru. And you could also hear him when he comes out, and is very directional, which he can use this clone to kind of bait you. So keep that in mind. Mind games with Yoru. So the thing that you can shoot is his teleport if you hear it, and you can also shoot his clone, which will flash you if you do. So his utility you don't really want to shoot. And that's it. That's all the agents. That's just about all their utilities that I could think of. And I hope that you enjoyed. I'll be having timestamps in here, so that way you can skip and go over agents that you don't really know, or just wants to know more about. And until next time, guys, have a good one. Oh, and be sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you didn't, go ahead and dislike it. Fuck it. Be sure to check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/Asmurai. I'll be streaming most likely tomorrow after this video is up. Well, actually today after this video is uploaded. So be sure to check that out. And that'll be at 8 a.m. Central Time. So whenever you're watching this at 8 a.m. Central Time, I am currently streaming. So be sure to check that out. And I will see you guys there. Have a wonderful day and take care.